the City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 426 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. We're going to call this one Dialed In, as the boys look completely dialed in as the season begins. Yeah, looking good so far, that's for sure. So we're going to talk about what's working for those guys, what's ahead, how well they played in the last game, or effective, you could say. Not pretty, but effective. And all the weapons that keep showing up when we need them to. So, yes, it's going to be a fun one today as we cover it all. Yes, we're going to cover the FC Dallas match, preview that for you too. Talk a little bit about Alajuelense, slightly. Talk about potential viewing parties that they're recruiting for, and much, much more. That's it. Oh, yeah, sponsorship stuff too. We'll cover that too. It's busy. Things are busy in our world. So, yes, we got you covered today. Of course, to get the job done, we've got Bam, we've got Tony. Araceli won't be on tonight because you know how busy she is with the season kicking off, but she will be back soon, that's for sure. Looking at you, Bam, I know there's an F1 race coming up real soon in your town. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Had to drive past it the other day to go from one side of the city to the other to pick something up for work, then drive all the way back. But yeah, so it's that time of year for us. The Formula One's kick off in Melbourne this weekend. It's actually a long weekend for us this weekend. Monday's a public holiday for us, so I get a paid day off from work, which is great. So it's going to be a long weekend of watching the Formula Ones, watching the football. The AFL has kicked off again. The NRL has kicked off. So lots of sports here in Australia. So it's a great week for sports lovers in Australia.
I'm sure an even better week than certain teams who their drivers can't even last the whole race. But yeah, I don't even go into that, but it's kind of fun to watch, gotta say. Bam's laughing because he knows exactly what's going on with Aston Martin, but it's kind of funny. All right, Tony, I know you're getting ready to watch the race too this weekend. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. You know, it's been a good week. I've just been getting ready for a race weekend and realizing that unfortunately I'll have to miss the first race of the season because I'll be at the game. Because race is going to be on Saturday at 8:50 p.m. our time. Thank you, Apple TV, for telling me that, because I was looking at, because now it's on Apple TV, and if anybody wants to go watch it, if you are a season ticket holder, you have Apple TV for free. So, if you want to start getting to F1, this is the perfect time. But other than that, I've been playing the new old Pokemon Fire Red and catching up on some nostalgia during this whole time, and enjoying the great run our boys have been doing and grinding out wins.
Yeah, walking a little lighter on our feet. Not gonna lie, seeing the form that our guys are in. It's been fun to see. That's for sure. Yeah, good times. Indeed. I hope the faithful are feeling the same way after this last match. Again, could have been tough. Played in a place where we don't ever really get results. Been a while since we've had a really positive one. Yeah, it's looking good. Outside of that, I know we've got a new sponsorship, right, Tony? So who's now involved with LAFC? Oh no. You got a little bit of winded there a bit. You good now, man?
Yeah, I followed through the wrong hole. So sponsorship. Sorry, we have I believe it's Line.
Yes, Line. That's right.
Can you take over this?
Poor Tony, I'll take over. Yeah, so Line is now a sponsor. And Line, I'm not the greatest at this, but yes, there's really cute little stuffed animals and characters, and it's growing depending on who the sponsors are, and different artists are getting involved. It's pretty big. And now LAFC is involved. And one of the characters will be, Falconer duty, right? So it's going to be really cool to see. There's going to be some autograph and photo op and all that stuff happening in the stadium. So it's going to be a lot of fun, especially for the kids and those who collect, because it's kind of cool, I got to say. I think my kid will be dialed in. So, Tony, you know a little more than me about it, but so far so good.
Yeah, I'm sorry for my coughing fit. Yeah, so Line is like a pretty much a Korean, like kind of like, especially with K-pop, you usually see them with like if you follow K-pop, as most I guess most listeners now do. I don't know how fluent it is, but they usually have little characters for every member of like BTS, and stuff like that. So there's stuff like that. There's the main one I know. There's a bear. I have one of the bears up like right in there's like a little nightlight for when my niece and nephew come over and they like stay at my place sometimes. It's a rare occasion, but and so it's just like a little like fun little thing. I know hopefully they'll be like they showed a little Ollie style thing. Hopefully that's gonna be a soul plushie like they usually do. And again, it's gonna be a good like if you're gonna bring your kids, it's gonna be at 7 o'clock. Meet and greet at the Northwest Concourse for photos of him from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then you'll see him do the LAFC pre-match with Ollie as well. So, it's a good little shout out. Good little fun. It's going to be fun with that. So be there this Saturday.
Exactly. Should be fun among all the new sponsors that we seem to just be growing with. It's cool. I dig it. It's nice to be popular, right? Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
All right, so we got that. Back to the football, though. Yes, we did play Houston on the weekend on the road. A house of horrors usually for us going into Houston, whether it's weather delays, poor results, off cards that you don't expect, injuries ahead of the game. We've had a million different issues, right? It's been a long time. So we go into this knowing that, yes, it could be very complicated. Team came out with a 4-2-3-1, but also the 4-3-3. You know how we shift things around a bit. But yes, there were four in the back for this one. Lloris, of course, was in goal. We had Tafari and Porteous. Yeah, Porteous back in the lineup as your center backs, Palencia and Segura. Working out pretty good over there. Your left and right backs. Midfield, it was Delgado, Eustachio, and Tillman. Looking the part, right? And then Bawanga, Martinez, and Sonny up top. And you know how they play and switch out and move around. Yes, very dynamic lineup. Getting used to this lineup. It's looking solid every week. So why change things up? Houston, on the other hand, they came out with a 3-4-3 with Bond in goal. We're familiar with him. Halter, Antonio Carlos, and Sviatchenko were in the back. Buza and McGlynn. Yes, McGlynn, former Philadelphia, were their central midfielders with Enali and Holmes as their outside mids up top. Old friend Mateus Bogusz was on the right. Guilherme Augusto was on the left, and Linger was their center forward attacking option. So that was the lineup going into it. Interesting development as it went on. I'll throw this over to Tony with the highlights, the lowlights, and the interesting ones as well. Go for it, man.
It was an actually very boring game. It's one of those games like you always get one of this game in the landscape. Like there's always that one game that just is not entertaining and people be like, oh, this is why people watch football. I can't believe this. I'm like, you get one game. There's always this one game where someone does it. And Houston had one goal in mind, was to just slow it down and not give us anything. They were playing on the counterattack, and that was the whole thing. And the first half was more of just them trying to bang us up and everything. And it wasn't until the 45th minute, with like 2 extra minutes of extra time, that Antonio Carlos gets a red card for literally stomping, and I'll say this, stomping on the back heel of Son. It was the longest time to get that red card and to leave the field. He got fined a good amount of money for that. But it was a red card. It's like, studs out, wasn't going for the ball. People saying he was just, he was playing it out. If you see it, like him walking away, you see the bloody sock. Like, shout out to Burke for Boston and whatever. So again, if you ever see this, Burke, you know what I'm doing to you. But he got hurt and automatic red. So going into the half, it was just us with a man advantage and seeing what we can do from there.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, even though it wasn't the most exciting half, it was physical. There was some technical need in that game. We were still giving up giving out pretty decent passing options. We were still sending people as needed, but they were organized. Houston was organized for this. They were ready to collapse back, draw deep, because historically, when you play LAFC, what's the best way to neutralize what they do? Park it, bring it back, go with a lower block. And our guys usually don't solve it. We have a long history of not being able to solve teams that drop back and hold for a counter. This is our history. So why wouldn't teams change? They know that works against a team like us historically. And we'll put that like that. Historically, right? You rely on the big guys up top to do the job. If you can neutralize them, if you can bang them up a bit, slow them down, that's all a part of the game. Now, in terms of that red card, some think it's controversial. I personally do not think it's controversial. I think it was necessary. He had no intention of playing the ball. He hits a guy from behind who is defenseless in that position. You have no way of protecting yourself in that moment. And he took liberties. And guess what? You play with fire, you get burned. Right? That's how this game works. If it's officiated properly, you go after a skilled player or any player that cannot defend himself, and you hit him from behind with no intent to really play the ball or anything else, yeah, this is what you deal with. No shocker there. Bam, looking at this first half, your thoughts, one, on that decision, and two, the performance of the first half.
For the first half, for the first 15 minutes, both teams was trying to find their footings still and all that kind of stuff. Some great saves by both keepers, I'll have to say that. Yeah. When it came down to it, both keepers had some great saves in that. I was actually surprised that Houston didn't score first, but Lloris held up on that one. I was surprised by the red card that it was given on the field. I was surprised that the ref actually gave the red card. I thought maybe he'd pull out the yellow card for that, but the fact that he put out the red card, I find that really interesting. But that being said, though, I watched a lot of games over this weekend on MLS. The refs are cracking down a lot. They're quite card happy. They're giving yellows for dissent. And even if it's the second yellow, they're giving it for dissent. And it's been surprising, the amount of cards given away so far this season. I'm actually not hating it as much.
So the one concern it's been in this league is how choppy the games are, right? And how teams intentionally slow the games down with cynical fouls, you name it, mobbing the referee, right? Just finding ways to kind of take the game out of the game. And I think it's become very obvious that the league is looking to combat that. One, the creative players, let them be creative instead of bludgeoning them and preventing it, right? That's one. The other is, again, flow of game, entertaining games. People aren't going to watch games if they're just slug matches and you're just dealing with nonsense and everybody rolling around on the floor all game. So, if you're forcing it to become more of a competitive match and more of a football match instead of a brawl, well, this is kind of how you deal with it. So that's my thoughts. I think, Bam, you're kind of in the same camp, right? I mean, that's what we're looking for here.
Yeah, looking for more consistency, trying to stop some of this bad stuff getting missed because, they're a good player. We can't send them off this early. But at the same time, you're not protecting your other players.
Right. Accountability on all sides. That's for sure. So that's how it goes. They survive the first half. Yes, they take a card late, but it is earned. Now, second half kicks off. We're going, okay, well, we got this, man. It'll be fine. We'll be fine. It didn't take too long for us to finally break through, right, Tony?
No, it took about 11 minutes to get into it. An assist from Mr. Sonny to Delgado with a nice shot from outside the box to put us up 1-0. Night again, clean shot, good. That's what we needed, and it's one of those things I know Bam clamors for all the time is to shoot from outside the blocks. Couple like Portillas gets a yellow card. Martinez finally comes out for Armin, and then we finally see Hector Herrera back in on versus LAFC at the 76th minute. But at the same time, we get another red card for pretty much the last man. Son was on a breakaway.
Yeah.
Pulled red card, automatic red. You know what I mean? Again, another long, extended, doesn't leave the field for some reason. Again, it's an automatic red. Like you're stopping a goal. Like let's be honest. Like that's what happens. It's I as a defender, cool. I would have taken that foul too. Like you know, what I mean, you take the red at the end of the day, you stop the advantage, but at the end of the day, you know what you did. And then we get to honestly one of the goals of I would say the week by Stefan, assisted by Delgado. Just a nice screamer from outside. Again, I think this was more of a Bam game than anything to put us up 2-0. And after that, it was just kind of saying goodbye to Houston, coming out with a win since the first win since 2019. And the boys are still on a roll and, you know, still on the highs.
And still kept a clean sheet in league, which I know we don't like talking about, but it still is something there. There were their chances, especially on dead balls again, but the dynamic is changed. And I'm going to ban running this, but look, when is the last time midfielders scored both goals in a game? And then when was the last time we scored one from distance on a setup at the top of the box, which is the exact kryptonite for a low block? Right? Like you're gonna drop it low. How do you sober them back up again? Hit them from distance, right? Force them to come out and meet you. That's how you open the team back up again. Because what happens if you do it in the future, teams are going to have to come out and meet you, and that opens up your passing. So this is different. And I know Bam, again, as Tony says, this was what Bam's been waiting for forever and ever and ever and ever. So you have the floor, sir. Let it rip, man.
Before I get onto the goals, that pass from Boudry to Son for Son to get pulled down for the red card. Pinpoint, actually beautiful pass. Now let's get down to it. I'm going to surprise you guys here. I'm going to surprise you guys both. That goal by Delgado was amazing. That was
there it is.
That was a nice shot from outside the box from a set piece that I can't remember the last time that happened. The fact that he was able to get it, set, and shoot. That's all I've been asking for is if you're set and you got the time and the space, have a shot. Sometimes you miss, sometimes you score. You get us up at 1-0. And then with Stefan's goal too, another great outside the box. That one was better. The fact that LAFC were able to go, Son's being shut down, Bouanga's being shut down, midfielders step up and go, give us the ball, we'll score for you. What more can you ask for? The fact that you look at it and go, we've had two midfielders and we've also had
defender.
Our forwards defender. You also look at two is in a Miami game, Bouanga, Martinez, and Ordaz scores. This game and midfielder scores. I can see, as much as I want a player from LAC to win the Golden Boot, I don't see us being able to do that because we have so many goal poachers. We're just going to be stealing goals off each other, which I like to see. Yes, I want to see one of us lift a Golden Boot at some stage, but at this point in the season where there's so much to go for, I don't care who scores the goals or someone who scores the goals. And that being said, our defense shutting down, keeping another clean sheet. Keep doing that. We are at the moment playing the brand of football that I enjoy to watch.
Yep.
And we're playing to keep us going with the goal difference if that comes into effect?
Pragmatism is probably the word of the day. Being pragmatic, taking what they give you and then burning them on it, right? If they're going to give you an advantage somewhere, take advantage of it. Don't look for the same thing over and over and over again like we did last year. That cost us our season pretty much. Pass it through, tight passing, try to get in it, enter the box. Nah, man, post it, hit it, see where it goes. If he stops it, maybe you get a rebound, but you get something, right? Some action. And that's what happened. And yes, Boudry, we saw him in the Triple C match, right, doing what he was doing, and he just brought it back to this one. And I mean, and it's not just him, these long distance setup passes, right? There's just pinpoint accuracy. We've seen it from Eustachio. We've seen some from Delgado, where it's like, bam, they hit him from distance and you're right where you need to be. And the ball's actually fading the right way, right? So a player can run into it properly or get the proper shoulder on a defender rather than putting it like right behind them, right? And they have to slow up and get it. These weighted passes, it's been different, man. It's been essential to our success. It's the midfield that's kind of unlocking everything right now, and something that we've lacked. We've just lacked it the last few years, and we've always been asking for it. I'm not wrong in that, right, Bam? I mean, you're seeing that.
100%. It's our midfield this year has stepped up from last year and the year before, which is good. We're always like seeing the growth of this midfield. Yes, we're bringing those big name forwards, and we found a great forward with Wonga. But now we're upgrading our midfield, and our defense is on point too. So all that we are going to be doing now is getting more players for more versatility.
Yeah. Especially with a busy schedule coming up, you're going to need others to step up. So this was good. This was essential. I go to you, Tony, watching this pragmatic match play itself out where, yes, there were times that were boring, but other times that wake up, everybody. Your thoughts of the performance, your thoughts of the approach, even from our manager here.
It was a great tactical win is the best way to say this, because it's not this high flying, Lakers showtime of, running through everybody. And this is what we need. Because again, there are going to be times which in our championship run where we had it, where we were going to run into games like this where we had to grind out the game. And when we had the opportunities to put it in the back of the net. And this is a good start to that. And I'm glad it started now because, as you said, there's going to be a lot more games moving forward. And it's just going to be really well. Shout out to Mark, to Dos Santos, to coaching well enough to figure out what we need and how he's getting the players to play for the team again. It could be just a new momentum and it's finally working well. But again, it's still early in the season, and I like to see the progression of him as a coach and the team.
Well said, Tony. And bringing that up, and then Mark Dos Santos and his approach. Did you notice somebody different taking corner kicks this match?
A couple times.
That little wrinkle there, where Sonny decides to stay in the box and Martinez takes it instead. Trusted to do a dead ball situation. The kid, who's been treated like a kid up until this year, to be honest, now is taking on responsibilities and expected to, and he's thriving under that. What a shock. The other is Tafari, right? How much was he trusted by our last staff, by our last coach? Not much. Even us, we were doubting, right? Everybody was, because again, expectations change, confidence changes. And now I can't think of getting him off of that lineup. You don't want to do it. It's too good. He's working well. He's distributing from back there too. Same with Porteous. These guys are locked in. And Segura. How many people were talking about Segura last year? Like, well, this is probably going to be his last season, all that, yada, 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 right? Now he's back in the 11. And you wouldn't think of taking him out at this stage because of how he's performing. Right, Bam?
Exactly. This is where, as much as I want to see Smolikov in the starting 11. I can't see who to get rid of to put him in.
Right.
It's one of the stages where it's like, I know we got these great defenders that we have sitting on the bench that just can't get game time because they're being kept out by the other defenders having great games. And by having great games, it means that we're keeping a clean sheet.
Yeah. And the other thought is, you know, Aaron Long's coming back soon, right? But to what is he coming back to? Because that center back pairing, you're not going to just break him up to throw Long in the lineup. And you don't have to force Long in the lineup. He can ease in at this point if they're going to play like this. You don't have to risk anything. Fully recovered, take your time, make it work. There's going to be a busy schedule ahead. We don't have to hodgepodge it. It's working. As of today, I know, guys, right? Things change quick in this sport. But for now, who isn't doing their jobs? Can we pinpoint anybody right now? I can't. Legit, I cannot. And that's why we're here. That's why we're calling it Dialed In, because they are. Yes, Tony?
I was like, what? This question is just like we've had this conversation a couple times with Casey. Is just like, where does Malikov fit in now? Because we're no longer doing this wingback situation, which is why Malikov was great in the last one. So where does he fit in? Because we have like our outside backs staying back and playing defense, and we don't need them to move forward. So it's like, the kid and stuff. Like, where does he fit in? Because he's more of a moving forward, and same with Hollingshead.
I think we're at that point where we have a manager that's going to change things depending on who we play against. And there will be games where you'll see a team go with 3 center backs or even go deep, like the team we're playing this weekend, where you might need to bring someone in. Or a game where it's going to be a run and gun transition type of game. That's just how it's going to be built, where this player needs to come in at this point. Also, Smolikov has actually been playing as a wing at times for us. He's done that in the past. He's dropped in the midfield before. And so anywhere on the left, he can actually be effective. And again, and I hate saying it, but with the load of games coming down the line here, players are going to have to rotate in and out for their own health. Right? There's situations that will present themselves where these guys are going to be expected to play because not certain guys aren't going to be able to be there at certain times. So that's, I think, Tony, where we might see just anywhere on the left for utility. You get him in, but he's good. It's going to be hard. Same with Ryan Hollingshead. Like, are you serious? Like, the all-time leading scorer from that position in MLS, and he's fighting for even minutes. It's a nice thing to run into at this point. The unexpected names, because we weren't expecting this to be the prime lineup, but it is right now. We'll take it. We'll take it as we can. Anything else you want to add to this one, Bam, as we move forward?
Nah, I think we've said everything we can about this game.
Yeah. Again, not the prettiest, but effective, and that's what matters most. All right, moving it forward. I do see about 6 comments from the faithful, so I do want to get you guys into the mix here. Let's see who we've got on tonight. We've got Dave. That's right. Classic. It says Vamos Familia from Gran Canaria, Spain. He's on vacation. Oh, yeah. Good stuff, Dave. Enjoying the warm weather of Spain at this time. Dig it. And as he says, the lad's form is top. That is true. And Dave does mention this. We didn't mention it in the breaking news, but this is a good time to talk about it. I know Tony's want to jump in on this. Carlitos is now an owner, part owner for the club. Perfect timing to talk about it. Tony, you got the details as to how much he's bought into, right? Maybe Bam did.
Bam did, but it's like we can elaborate more, but it was like at 6% of the 1.3, Bam, right?
1.25.
Yeah, 1 point. Yeah, we have to be exact with numbers, but 1.25 of that, along with 2 other members, I believe. And so Carlitos hasn't been announced officially from LAFC, but all reports have been pointing that he's an official member. So wait for that big grand post of Vela being an owner. Maybe we'll get a bobblehead of Carlitos in a suit and tie like we got Chiellini. But yeah, Carlitos is now a part owner of LAFC, and you can pretty much tell from that he ain't moving back to Spain or back to Mexico. He's staying in Los Angeles for a good long time.
Enjoying himself in Southern California. Man, what would the giveaway be if it's Carlitos, man? I'm just saying. Get creative, everybody. I'm sure they're going to mention this at the game this weekend. How could they not? There's going to be a hand wave, right? You kind of expect it. So there is that. And Dave also says, first win in Houston since 2019. That's right. Good stuff. Firsts are always a good thing. We'll take that. And then Marvin, I think it's going to be more related to the match that's coming up, but he does say, what do you guys think? Do you guys think we might get some rest for players for Tuesday's match? We'll cover that in a little bit. That's for sure. Again, in the my short-sighted thought, no, right? I don't think that's the way this manager digs it. But yeah, we'll get into it. We'll definitely get into it. And then he also said, what are your thoughts on Inter Miami going to the White House today to see the president? Yeah, I think I'll just give you a sigh on that one at this stage. I mean, I would say put it in the shoes. How would you feel that LAFC did that? And then just go from there. Spin it, you know? So there is that. Yeah. Free will, I guess. Do what they want, but I don't dig it. So there you go. Tony, do you want to add into that?
It's a choice of the players of whatever they stand. It's one of those things of it's controversial. It's a controversial point on either side of which one you want to do it. You don't go, you criticize from one side. You do go, you criticize from the other side. And I'm not saying it. I personally, in my gents, with everything that's going on in my beliefs, I wouldn't go because of what I stand for and just human rights in general, not just of my nationality, of where my parents are from or anything. It's just as human rights person of what's going on, I wouldn't.
Yeah. Again, they have the right to do what they want to do. That is the beauty of this country, as long as that applies. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Again, it wouldn't sit well with me if LAFC took that choice, but we'll cross that when we get there, right? And we'll leave it at that. But good question, Marvin, man. It's good to throw it out there. And again, we encourage everybody to ask anything, man. Let it rip, dude. It's a good thing. You're the faithful. This is the heart of LAFC, and we all have strong opinions about things, and that's a good thing. Sharing your opinions is a good thing, so never hold back. That's for sure. All right, moving on and talking about community and all that stuff. Should we do LAFC 2 first? Because there's some news for that one.
LAFC 2 first. Let's get that first out.
LAFC 2 first. All right, so LAFC 2 is back in business. There is a team. They are playing. Alejandro Guido is an assistant coach with the team, so familiar face right there, everybody. Yes, with less than 2024. There it is. We did have 7 new signings for LAFC 2. We've got Ethan Scally, Luke Goodman, Ernesto Rodriguez, Eddie Villeda, Travis Babineau, Giuliano Whitchurch, Gavin Zambrano. All California natives getting back into this team. That is good news. They did open with a 2-2 draw and then opened the extra point, or got the extra point in a shootout, which was a 4-1 finish in Tacoma. So a win on the road to kick things off. That is very, very, very good news. Yeah, last year was rough. It's good to start on the right foot. The goal scorers for the day were Tommy Mihalik and Matt Evans, very familiar names, scoring for the Black and Gold. Next up for LAFC 2, they are going to be traveling to San Jose to face Quakes 2. Yeah, they're not called that other team anymore. They're Quakes 2. It'll be Sunday, 7 p.m. You can watch free on One Football and MLSnextpro.com. Thank you to Araceli for getting us the details for this week. That is what she does. She rocks. She is amazing, keeping us completely updated on all news LAFC 2 and MLS Next Pro. So there we go. That is the update. Again, starting on the right foot this season, finally, for LAFC 2. May they continue with that. That is for sure. All right. That now brings us to, what is it? Community news. Community news. And this is Tony's specialty, sir. What have you got for us with community news?
Of course, the first, let's just get the not out of the way, but it's the first most important thing for us as supporters is the 3252 membership for 2006 or 2026, not 2006. That's like 20 years ago. Me saying that, I feel old, but so there are two packages that you can do, a $30 one and a $65 one. The $30 one gets you the 3252 membership, the 3252 2026 member scarf, discounts to HQ, discounts to tailgate events when we hold them, and access to exclusive member only events when we have them. You also, with that one, you can also do your build, which goes into the 65 one, and each one has the $65 you get everything, while the build one is still in that $30 one where you can, if you want to add, you can add the $3252 pin, 3252 embroidery patch, an exclusive dog tag, a cuff woven beanie for 3252 crew socks, and you can get all that for $65. Again, this goes towards away day tickets, tifos, drum, and anything support for 3252 events. So make sure you got those, and make sure you also it also helps SGs keep their official status in the 3252 members and everything like that. So make sure if you are part of an SG, you click myself, BA, or if you're part of Cuervos, D9, Expos, Luckies, LAO, Crew, Empire Boys, and I believe that's all. If I'm missing one, so and if you're part of another group, put other and put the name of the one that to maybe eventually become an official member. So that is for the 3252 membership, as well as more of club news. As you all saw, we already talked about Carlitos. We already talked about the new sponsorship. But as you all saw, the Leagues Cup games have been announced. It's going to be a very interesting first game. This is the first time we've ever faced this team. It's Chivas of Guadalajara, or Guadalajara Chivas, whichever. Or I don't really care about that team, as you know my history with that. But it's going to be Chivas, Toluca, and Querétaro. So it's going to be the start in August.
That ain't easy.
Querétaro? Or just the lineup?
Toluca.
Oh yeah, that was the first thing my dad said. He was like, he's not worried about Chivas. Toluca's going to be the hard one, and Querétaro is just Querétaro is the best way to say it. They're there.
Yeah, I'm not worried about those guys. Yeah.
So
no, I'm worried about that one in the middle there, dude. Toluca.
Yeah, no, I know. I am too.
Yeah.
So that starts. It starts on, I believe, August 2nd is the first game, and then the dates will be on. So be available for times when the tickets will go on available. Again, if you're a season ticket holder, there is a buy-in program for that, and it should be it will be an interesting time, and I'm gonna say that because that's right after the World Cup, and we'll see who's going to be there for both teams and how much game time is this going to be that, because I feel like this is going to be a burnt out. This is a burnout tournament. I don't believe we're going to see too much. I think the Chivas ones are going to see a lot, and the Toluca one, and then we'll see. But again, we don't care about this tournament until we get to the top three, because then that guarantees us. That guarantees us access to Champions Cup that we're in at the moment, and that how is a certain team who was not even in playoffs, not even anything, got in. So it's a way in, and it's the best way. So we just needed to top three it, and then we're okay with it. Of course, I want to win it, but the goal is get into the dance, and then after that, we'll see what we can go with it.
Hey, as long as the guys get out of it healthy, that's honestly all I care about with that tournament. It's a cash grab cup. It is what it is. I'm not going to be nice about it. It's kind of cool to see certain matchups, but at the end of the day, I'd rather just go through league play. That's me, but that's how I am. But if the guys are in a tournament, you're going to support them. That's how it rolls. So there goes that.
And then
Bam, I want to add in on that as
go
well.
for it.
Or are you good, man?
Yeah, go for it, man.
He's like, nope.
I was like,
shaking his head. He's like, staying out of that one. All right, back to you, Tony, with community news. Anything else you want to add in for that, sir?
The last one is I want to give a shout out. You'll see this more often from Jefferson Cheese when they announce what the program is. I will fully talk about it, but shout out to one of our BA members, Merck. He was able to make a dish that will be sold in the 3252 area, I believe, also in Stadium. It's, if you haven't had them, it's a really good one. It's his jalapeno bacon poppers. They're a hit every Thanksgiving, every Friendsgiving, every Christmas, and now they are going to be sold in at a Bank of BMO for the coming up this match. So if you ever got an opportunity, if you see Merck, you saw him. He was the man of the match for the fans at the first Miami game. And so if you see him, just say what's up to him and congratulate him. But also I want to give him a special shout out here.
And give him a Ric Flair woo, because that's what's going to be every time. You're not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't started until he gives it. So there you go. There's one other thing I did see. For those season ticket holders, got an email from the club. There's going to be a watch party coming up in Ontario Airport.
Oh, yes.
Not sure if they're completely claimed, but it's going to be a big one. It was great last time. I took my boy to it. The last time out, huge turnout for the 3252, banners up and everything. Even the fire department for Ontario Airport showed up and were showing off their new rigs, which was really cool. Water and everything, spraying everywhere. It was cool. Like the vibe was cool. A lot of sponsors were there. Food was good. Food trucks. Yeah. And it's an airport hangar, guys. Like it's a different vibe. So if there's still spots left, I'd say jump on it. It's worth it. Check it out. Because I'll be there. I'm pretty sure Tony's going to be there. Yeah, it's worth it. I'm in. You're in.
And it won't be hot this time.
Yes, it won't be the middle of the summer. Oh, and bring your lawn chairs if you do go, because seating it's on you, man. But it's fun that way. It's kind of like a big picnic vibe. So there you go. All right. Which brings us to the next thing we always talk about in this community, and that, of course, is the Black and Gold Vinyl Club Minutes. Yep. I have one nomination, but somebody else had one. So, Tony, do you want to go for that, man?
Oh yeah. I was like, did I have one? I was like, oh yeah. I went with an old school 90s hip hop group. Mostly
2000s?
late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
I went with Outkast with BOIB.
Yep.
It seems kind of right from what is going on. Last time that song was kind of released, we were in the same situation. Again, the last time Fire Red and Leaf Green was released, we were in the same situation. So it's like history repeats itself, people.
What we do all too often. Yeah, it's a good one. And they just got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Outkast. So that's cool. I'm going to go with one because I'm old and seeing this band having a album is pretty freaking cool. The single's out right now. That would be Social Distortion. The album will be Born to Kill when it's fully released. The single for it is out right now, Born to Kill. If you don't know, Mike Ness survived, a near-death experience with fighting cancer and went through a whole hell of a lot. So to him be back on stage, back on tour again, and now with a new album, pretty darn amazing. So all love to Mike Ness and Social Distortion. Yeah, it's one of my favorite bands as a kid. So I'll be wax nostalgic. That is for certain. Bam, you got one?
I got one. It's a lot newer than all of you guys. Mine was released in 2004, and it's Crusade by Gabi Ponte. Nice little dance trance song. And the opening lyric is "Come and follow me."
Okay, there we go. One for the list there, Tony. Add that one in. That's gonna be on the playlist. And then I'll give an honorable mention to the Prodigy because it's like the 30th anniversary of Firestarter as of this week. I know. I'm that old. So are you, Bam. You're feeling it. I'm feeling it. Yeah. Well, there you go. You got a lot of music. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Gosh, that was a good album. So there we go. All right. To the football, because that's what we do best, as always. Previewing matches. We're going to cover LAFC versus Dallas this weekend. As you heard, there's going to be plenty of fun with a really big bear. Yeah, and cool photo opportunities. Poppers aplenty. I at least hope so. You can't miss those. I'm not big on jalapeno poppers, but for those ones, always in, dude, because they're that amazing. So yes, go into it. LAFC versus Dallas. Dallas has been looking pretty decent. What, a win and a draw? Played Nashville to a 0-0, even though they had a man advantage for a good portion of it. And they got a 3-2 win at home against Toronto to open up the season. Yeah, a lot of goals in that one. Scored 3 total goals in 2 matches, allowed what? 2. There's not a lot to be excited about. I got to be honest, watching these guys play. I think the Nashville match, I think we were talking about this off camera, one of the most boring ones I think any of us have seen. I kind of fell asleep even watching the highlights. It was so bad. Bam, you've seen this team. You've watched what they do. Thoughts about FC Dallas this year?
They had one of the worst games I've seen in a long time against Nashville. That was an absolute ball fest. And yay, they beat Toronto at home. Whoop-de-doo. It's Toronto. Like, as I said to you guys on the weekend, is who's going to be one of the last teams to get a point this season, and it's going to be close, but I reckon it's going to be Toronto.
Yeah,
because it's Toronto. Don't get me wrong, like, Toronto can get better. They just don't want to get better. They got no aspirations to be better. But that being said, too, is Dallas, because of how their last 2 games have gone, it's not going to surprise me if they throw in a spanner against us and just play us off the park somehow. But
step up, yeah,
exactly. They've got to fight for their Texas love of Houston. You know,
no love there. Zero.
Californians are beating 1 Texas team. Now they can't have them beat 2 Texas teams in a row. So Dallas has that Texas pride they're gonna fight for, which hopefully they don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about the Texas 2-step. Let's step all over them, you know? The thing about Dallas is I can't figure this organization out. They've been around since 96. Not much to remember. That's been FC Dallas, outside of moving way outside of the city to a beautiful stadium that has no coverage in the Texas heat, to now closing half the stadium to remodel said building with tarps all over the place, giving us Chivas USA vibes, to having the Soccer Hall of Fame. They kind of stole that out from under us because we were trying to get that too. There's not much, man. Honestly, I know a lot of us who can see in the games there, and again, it's outside of town, and ambition doesn't seem to be anything outside of developing players, right? Develop them, make them really good, sell them off, and make money. That's been FC Dallas. Now, what does that mean? They've actually fielded some very competitive young sides. That can hurt you. Definitely. This is one of those teams again this year where there's some good veterans, some youngsters that have moved up. They are competitive. They are well coached. They aren't an easy team for that. But overall, long term, what's the project? Are they going for MLS Cup? No, they're really not. Are they developing? Yes. Are they competitive? That's, a 500 type team is what they kind of look like right now. Tony, you know their history. You know what's going on with this team. Thoughts about the current iteration of FC Dallas?
It's honestly, I haven't since what? There's been
Yeah.
only maybe 2 teams since LAFC's been here that have been like, oh my god, we have to watch out. But again, it's a BBV. Unfortunately, I want to say this in like the most respectful way, light, and I mean super light, like zero, where they're developing players and trying to sell them for the youth. Again, best academy that you can have for like how many great names for the U.S. national team have they produced, and everything from Walker Zimmerman to what's his, I forgot his name right now. But I think this could be a trap game is the best way to say this, because we could take that
Yeah.
later.
Take it as what you will. I will say our best memories of them are the players that we've acquired from them, including our current center back and Ryan Hollingshead. Again, they develop talent. That's what you have to deal with, and talent can burn you. So, what are they field on? What's their lineup going to look like? Well, last game they played a 5-3-2 against Nashville at home. They threw 5 in the back. In goal, they had Kolodi. They had Ibiaga, a familiar face, Urogid, and Moore. We know Moore. He's been around a while. Outside backs were Johansson and Kamungo, which you expect them to turn into wing backs at some stage and press when they can, or just hold back. That's what they're going to do. In the midfield, you had Delgado, you had De Silva Ferreira and Capis, and up top, Farrington and Musa. Musa is the target man. He's the option. Again, 2 striker setup. One will play high, one will play low. That's what I expect, and try to feed each other and spring each other at times on a counterattack setup against us. That's what I see it happening. Is it's going to be this block it low, hit you on the counters with the wings, cross the ball in, and try to catch us on the back post as we're lagging, getting back. If we're going to get hurt, it's going to be that way, or it's going to be the dead ball situation. Yes, try to catch us on corners and use some of the big guys they got in the back to try to ruffle some feathers. That's what I see. Do I see a lot of weaknesses? No, I think they're well organized. Do I see, knockout kind of players and setup where we're going to have to get blitzed by these guys? No, but they're still dangerous. And if we don't take them seriously, they will hurt us. That's the vibe I get from this side. I know, not exciting, but cautious, I think would be the best way to put it. Bam, anything else you want to add to these guys?
No, like I agree with you. They're just Dallas, and
Yeah, right.
but the
like,
the problem is though, being just Dallas can end up screwing us over.
Yeah, it's like a Toyota Camry. No one's excited, but it runs. That's it. There you go. That's the preview, right? I know no shocker there. Now that's them. Then it comes back to us. And what are we going to do against a team that's the Toyota Camry of MLS? What are we going to offer to this? How are we going to enter this? Are we going to go with the A squad? We had one question already from the faithfuls. How are we going to field the team knowing that only a few days later we've got to host a really good side from Costa Rica and Alajuelense, who we have experience with, who have revenge on their minds as we took them out at one point. What do we do? I'm in the camp that we're going to use our best possible lineup, and if we can get guys out of the lineup, more power to them. But this game matters. They all matter, and so you do what you can. Tony, I ask you, I know in goal, Lloris is going to be there. Is there going to be any changes to the back line? Are you thinking anything will get shifted up?
I don't believe so. It's questionable because we are going into a CONCACAF Champions Cup with a side that wants revenge. We've played them twice, and for sure they want revenge. So I'm going to say maybe Segura comes in as a possible. Yeah, One of the
Okay.
two, I would say. One, but I know for Segura is will be a potential starter, and then you bring in the other, like, either Porteous or Tafari in just to give them some runtime a little bit, either or. But that's the only change I would kind of make. But if we're not making changes, then it stays the same.
Okay, Bam. Any changes to your backline?
I can see Hollingshead getting the start.
Against his old club.
The problem is, who do you take out? I think Hollingshead's going to start, and Tafari's going to have a sit just to rest for the midweek game.
Which also he has experience with Dallas, right? So there is that. Yeah, he's the one guy that hasn't really gotten a rest since day one, the whole tournament, you name it. That guy's always there. So this is the one guy that could get one for sure. Now we go to the midfield situation, right? Eustikio, Delgado, Tillman. It's been our constant. Are we going to see changes there? I'll have you kick this one off, Bam. Are you changing up the midfield, or are you keeping exactly the same?
I'm going to rest Stefan, and I'm going to start Boudry.
So that would drop Tillman low and Boudry
Yep.
go up high? Okay. I could see that happening. I think Boudry is going to find his way in the lineup. Some way or another, we're going to see this guy get a start one of these days. So this could be the match. I could definitely see that. Tony, your thoughts?
I would drop probably Delgado and put in Chanel.
You mean Chouanier?
Yeah, Chouanier. Sorry. Chouanier. I forgot.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Chouanier is another one that's just on the edge of that lineup. What are you going to do there, right? All right. Now, we look up top. I don't think Buonaga and Sonny want anything to do with sitting on the bench, so they're going to be in the lineup. We have no choice. That's just how it runs. They're competitive. Why break that apart? Martinez, gaining more and more strength, gaining more and more confidence. I cannot see him not playing in this game. I got to be honest, because you want to be on your top for the next one. Tony, do you think any of those three sit in this game, or they're all going to be on limited minutes?
I think limited minutes for, I believe, Sonny and Buonga. Martinez maybe staying out there. We could see Boyd out there eventually. Could be one of the matchups, or Armin is the other one too. We have like multiple options to get those in there, but I believe those three start again. Sonny doesn't really stay out of like league games, and Buonga wants to play as much as he can. And Martinez, we need to get his confidence up as much as we can, because a confident Martinez, the way he's been playing, is a dangerous one, as you can see. We've seen the last couple games.
Exactly. And then Ordaz, he'll find his way in. He will. Whether he starts or not, I don't know, but he'll find his way in. Probably make a mark in this game. It seems like the kind of scrappy game that Ordaz would fit well into. So there's that too. Bam, any other changes you're thinking in this, or is more of a limited set?
More limited set. I see us, if we can be up 3-0 by the 75th minute, then take out Sonny and Buonga.
Right. It's got to be one where they feel like they don't need to really contribute any further. Like, we've done our job. We can move on now.
Yeah.
That's the only way they're going to feel comfortable going out of the lineup. So there is that. Again, could be some new faces coming off the bench. Boyd's been pretty decent so far from what we've seen. He has been very serviceable. Boudry it's screaming for more minutes. So his play has just demanded it. So there we are. All right. Some comments from the faithful before we call this a night. 5 of them so far, or maybe a list.
3.
3. Mateo El Garobero says, what do you guys think about Alajuelense CONCACAF Champions Cup? That is the game that we were kind of debating whether we can preview that one tonight. So we'll give a few minutes to it. Not too in depth. Maybe we'll throw some stuff later as it comes closer. But Bam, you did take a little look at these guys. Your thoughts on Alajuelense?
The last 5 games haven't been that great. Last game was a 2-0 win, which is good, but then it was a 2-0 loss, 2-1 loss, 2-1 loss, and a 1-1 draw. So they are scoring, but they're also letting in goals as well. So I'm going to say, being a home game first, it's going to be beneficial for us. It's the away game that we have to really get in depth to that, because that's going to be a fun one to get talking to. But at home, going into this, I don't expect them to be too difficult here. As long as not only do the players turn up, but the fans turn up as well, and get in there and be that extra voice. But it'll be an entertaining game, that's for sure. But I don't see them being too much hassle at home for us.
Yeah, in our own house, again, it's going to be one of those things where in their house they're going to be tough. In our house, we're going to be tough. I do expect Alajuelense fans to show up for this game, just like we had supporters for the last one. We'll have supporters again for this one. Why would they not, right? A lot of passion, good people, that's for sure. So I expect that from them. They're not an easy team to beat. There's a reason why they got a bye in the first round. They earned that. So it won't be a pushover team that either. I expect a lot more from them than the last team we just played. They're a much better team than the team that we just eliminated. So that will be tough. Do I think they're going to play the counter and drop low? Yes, that's what I expect them to do. Get physical, definitely, and then take it back to their house. What they are going to look for, what everybody looks for in the way this tournament is shaping up, is the away goal. The away goal is going to be very, very, very costly if we give one up, especially going back to their house and knowing the conditions of the stadium there and the setup there. It is not an easy place to play. For those of us that traveled there the last time we went there, expect the heat, expect the humidity, expect a very passionate fan base. It will be a sellout for those who go. They will sing pretty darn hard in the early stages of it with some official anthems, because this is an old team. There's some classic songs. But then if we go strong, we'll do well. We did well the last time we went there, but again, it is challenging to play there. And I think this edition out of Alajuelense is probably better than the one that we played in the past. So that too. So it might get a little tighter. So that is it. We will definitely preview leg 2 more in depth in our next episode. So we're kind of saving it for that, because again, the decider is the second match anyway, and this is not going to be over after leg 1. It won't be. It's going to go. We're going to need a result down there. I expect it, because it's a much better team that we're facing. So that's our thought about Alajuelense. Tony, you want to add any more to that, sir?
Again, revenge for one, knocking us out, two, for knocking them out.
Yeah.
For us knocking them out. Two, they also feel like they were looked over, and for money purposes, because if you guys remember, the reason we were in the Club World Cup was because of their protest
Lawsuit.
lawsuit, protest, probably lawsuit more, but I would say protest. I was trying to be nice and say protest and like lawsuit of 2 Mexican teams owned by the same ownership going into it, and that's how we got the America versus LAFC. And they felt that they should have been in that game because of the history of how they've done and everything. So they felt slide for that. So it's going to be again a lot of bad blood against us for that game.
Yeah, there's a lot of pride on the line. That's for sure. We'll get some travel tips for the next one. That's for certain. All right. And then Marvin he's going hard with the questions here, but that's cool, man. Marvin Mejia says, it might be too early to ask this question, but do you think LAC can win the double CONCACAF Champions Cup and MLS Cup in the same year? I mean, anything is possible with this team and what we're building. They are a very good side, but you have to understand, if you get past Alajuelense, you've got to face the winner between Cruz Azul and Monterrey. Tony's shaking his head because he understands, and that's a home and home. And you either got to deal with the elevation of playing Cruz Azul or Monterrey in their environment, and both solid teams who recently played each other. But yeah, it's gonna be tough. There is no promises in this tournament, but do we have the tools to win it? Hell yeah, we do. Right? You got to stay healthy through the duration, but we've got the tools for both. We definitely do. I feel good about it, but again, it is a very long year. There's a lot of football to play. There's a big tournament that gets right into it. I mean, there's so much that's on our plate going into this. It's going to be tough, but is it possible? Yes. Bam, your thoughts?
There's more chance of that happening than Tottenham staying, winning the Premier League this year. But for me, it's you never know what's going to happen. So I just want Tottenham to go down this year. That's all I want. I want them to get relegated because.
Then we'd have sad Sonny, and I don't think we don't want sad Sonny, dude.
No, but it's more you screwed it. You got rid of a great coach that won you a trophy last year.
Oh my God! But But it doesn't matter. You win. There's a difference between winning one trophy and winning multiple trophies and then destroying a team 8-0, if I remember right, and then getting fired.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's insane too.
Yeah. But no, like always there's a chance. The way that we're playing, I'm leaning towards likely. It's not there's a more likely than not, but if we keep playing the way we're playing, hey, let's go for it.
We're in the conversation. That's for sure. All right, I'll let you off the hook on this one, Tony. You just want to bite on this, I'm sure.
Oh no, I'll talk to me after if we play Cruz Azul in Monterrey, and then after the first leg, and then we can have a serious conversation because that's going to be that's going to be the changer of how we do in the tournament, because that's going to be the test. And
and you got to get past Alajuelense too. So again, Don't look over these guys. So there's that. All right, Miss Mary Luna has a much lighter conversation. I like this one. She says, "What is the LAFC X-Line Friends Bear collab about? Are they selling a plushie?" One would hope. I think Tony and I are both like chomping at the bit that between this and Gundam, we're ready, man. Take our money. That's pretty much the vibe. I think so. I think we're gonna get something. Imagine if it's an Ollie, dude.
I think it's an Ollie because they already have. Yeah. I think it's an Ollie because they've already done like their line characterization of Ollie next to him, so it could be that Ollie. I hope so. So most likely. So I know Joseph's kids are going. If it's Ollie, it's going to be a must buy. Then at that point,
definitely. Like I said, take my money. Falcon 107 says, "What's up, guys? Nice to have you on, brother. Love it." And then the Diego Rossi account says, "What? Who said Vela doesn't love soccer, bro? He's been at games and is part owner in stake in LAC. Not only that, is he's doing like that soccer Saturday showdown stuff, and he's very present out there. So the man is enjoying his retirement and ownership and much, much more. And yes, as Miss Mary Luna says, Vela loves the beach. I mean, he's from what? Cancun, right? It's natural. So there you go. Good stuff, everybody. Thank you for all that you guys add in the conversation. You're the reason why we do this. It is about the faithful. That's why you are all the Heart of LAFC. That's where the name comes from. That's always going to be the vibe. So add in, ask the tough questions. Shout out to Marvin Mejia for asking us the ones we actually have to think about and turn those wheels. Dig it, man. Keep it up. All of you guys, thank you for that. All right. On that note, I know we're not going to do a big preview on Alajuelense. We're going to save it for leg 2. I think that's a better idea because it's hard. It's apples and oranges comparing what they've been through this year to where we've been through. They've had more games under their belt, but again, we've had our thing. So, yeah, we'll get you more covered for that. It's more about getting through this weekend. That is for certain. So, on that note, we're gonna start to get ready to head home on this one. Take it home, everybody. So, what do? We have our final thoughts. That's how it runs. I'm gonna have Bam kick this one off tonight. Your final thoughts, my friend.
Final thoughts for everyone going to the game: be safe, have fun. If you need to, get an Uber, carpool, be the designated driver for your friends. Once a month, being a designated driver is not the end of the world. Once every 4 games, you get to sit back and laugh at all the tomfoolery that your friends get up to. If you're not going to the game and you're not going to be able to watch it, make sure you have a good weekend regardless. There's a lot of other sports on at the moment. You got basketball's heating up, got finals turning up soon. March Madness has started. F1s have started. There's sports galore out there. Whether you're into it or your friends are into it, just bond over it. Go out, have a drink, have some chats, have something to eat, have some fun. And as I always say is, mental health matters. Conversations can change and save a life. If you do need help, there are places there for you to help. For those in the LA area, the LA County Department of Mental Health, you can call them at 800-854-7771. Or if you really need to, you can text 988 and someone will be able to talk to you then.
Well said, sir. Thank you for that. And again, look out for each other. At the end of the day, we're a community. That means something. Keep it that way. Definitely. Tony, your final thoughts.
Final thoughts for the episode is just piggybacking on what Bam said, but a little bit more, just have the conversations of in general. We are a community, no matter beliefs or not, and just to hear everybody out, because I feel like that's what's been lost in this whole mayhem of everything. It's okay to disagree and not agree with everything, but at the end of the day, we are human beings, and that's what get lost. It's not them against us, it's us in general. We still have to live together. We still have to be with each other, and we may have different beliefs. We do have different opinions, but at the end of the day, that's what makes the world better, because ideas, conversation, sparks happen because of this. And just because the world is the way it is, it can change with just conversations and openness. And that will be my final say.
Well said. Well said. Civil discourse is key in this world. Anything beyond that, violence, you name it, that is a failure. So again, hug everyone out there that you love, right? Stay with your loved ones. Stay positive in this world as it seems more and more chaotic as things go. Enjoy the escapes that we have, just like football. This is the most proper escape. Again, keep it positive. Enjoy the time together this weekend at the game. Tailgates are still happening. They're going to be going good this weekend. The poppers are happening. Again, we've talked about the events. So get out there. Enjoy the game. We have a lot to celebrate as a club right now. Things are looking good. We got to keep the momentum up. Head to the north end. If you're in the north end, give all that you have. And we get through another lovely day. And that's how it should be. So on that note, let's call it a night. You know what we do with that? The final word of the day. I'll go to you, Bam. Go for it, man.
Stay golden.
Tony.
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
And from me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.